Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. You know, crazy thing happens when you drive from Oklahoma to Kansas City, Missouri without stopping even to get gas. And that is that you realize that the Marvel Casino of Champions world is a lot different 5 hours later than when you arrive at your destination. And that's exactly what happened. When I got back, shout out to Earth25 and Brian, Shadow Strike, and so many others who sent me the patch notes, because we have so much to talk about. I mean, I could spend a video going over each section of this, but I am going to kind of do an overview for the sake of everyone's sanity in this video, including my own. Red Guardian is sending out letters meant for someone else, letters from children asking for toys and gifts, letters full of horrible spelling, cookie crumbs, and crude drawings of some guy in a red suit every year. Clearly he doesn't know who Santa is. The 9-year anniversary celebration is fascinating because to have a special Valiant 7-day progression calendar is going to be really interesting to see how the community responds to this and what the heck this calendar is. If you missed my video that I posted on Thursday, I immediately recorded what the Valiant monthly calendar looked like because it was the first time we'd seen it. And my goodness, guaranteed 6-star featured champion instead of a crystal. Yes, it would be nice if there was like a 1% chance for the 7-star, but Kabam doesn't want to give anyone a chance for a free 7-star right now with the way that the economy of the game is. A fully formed, yes, fully formed. We're talking about 10 times the value of what Paragon players get. Fully formed Tier 6 Basic, fully formed Tier 3 Alpha every month. So when you combine that with the Valiant daily crystal rewards, it's crazy stupid how much better Valiant players are and how much easier it is for Valiant players to form Tier 6 Basic and Tier 3 Alpha. And these videos, you know, sometimes I just speak into a microphone and I have no idea who the audience is for the video. I just record it, I upload it, and I pray somebody watches it. But it is motivating to me and it is moving to me that people reach out to me and say, Prof, your videos inspired me to have the motivation to push to become Thronebreaker or even Cavalier or Uncollected, but especially Paragon. Or yes, though I think most people still aren't there yet, Valiant. So that is, you know, something I take pride in. I want to make videos that benefit the player base, but also inspire Kabam to do a better job. That is definitely my #1 goal. And with that being said, for years, at least 2 years, maybe even more than that, I've made videos saying it is ridiculous we can't sell Tier 4 class Catalyst or Tier 5 Basic or Tier 2 Alpha. Everybody has agreed. Now, to make matters even worse, the allocations of how many you could hoard in your inventory do not make any sense whatsoever. They haven't for years, especially now you consider you can hoard, if you're Paragon and above, 30 Tier 6 Basic and 30 Tier 3 Alpha, amongst other things. So hopefully they'll still get that squared away. But the holiday gift last year for Paragon players, it was an Abyss Nexus. First time I recorded a video where I predicted what I wanted to see happen, and Kabam actually delivered. That was pretty cool. Probably won't happen again. Shout out to my man Steven Burris, his favorite champion, who he already has ascended. Red Skull is getting a pretty cool update. There's a lot of info here that we could spend, again, more time than I want to covering, but it's pretty cool. Things that got my attention from this, the increased heavy attack heal block duration from 7.5 seconds to 12. That's a huge buff. Change per buff benefits to per armor buff, but added 5% attack rating and a minus 10% opponent stun ability accuracy. The auto block passive to a special attack 1 activation makes me think of Overseer and probably a couple other champs that aren't coming to mind right now. Special 1 shock pause from final hit to first hit, pretty cool. Unstoppable buff to special attack 2 activation, which again, I usually try to bait special 1s for when I fight him, not special 2s, but who knows, sometimes you might be fighting a special 2. And then the removed signature abilities heavy attack intercept effect and added every 10th basic attack grants Red Skull 1 armor up buff, kind of rewards you for some combos. And then the unending ambition seeing red and immortal ruler synergy abilities updated. So goal was to increase Red Skull's defensive threat in a way that centers around his armor-up buffs and shrinks the available windows of attack for his opponent, blocking some common Mystic buff counters via immunities to encourage cosmic armor breaks, modernize Red Skull's offensive abilities to provide a smooth loop and respectable damage, physical vulnerability passive potency raised from 20 to 30%, critical rating raised to 33%, unblockable no longer consumes charges but goes on a cooldown for 30 seconds. That's amazing. Special 1 grants 30 charges instead of 20. So, things that, who knows, might tweak it, may not. But we will certainly have some feedback. The bug fixes and improvements are really what I want to spend the majority of the rest of this video on. Because, look, again, we have been asking for Tier 4 and Tier 5 Class Catalyst sales and Tier 5 Basic. Now, Tier 5 Class Catalyst sales, I actually don't know if we've asked that too much, but we'll take it. Tier 4 for years and years and years. Tier 5 Basic and Tier 2 for years and years and years. All of that is getting a buff. So thank you, Kabam. I'm giving you a huge 2 thumbs up for what it's worth for this. People will say it's too late. Better late than never, I always say. And then we have an issue where a crash would sometimes occur when attempting to purchase 6 to 7 star shard bundles. We've seen that in different bundles reported into the channel for the last several months. Punisher's info page, ability shortlist display bleed several times. Auto block failing. Mr. Sinister, not regenerating from critical hits. Moondragon, not considering Battlegrounds nodes to be nodes. Buffet, Power Snack, and company would trigger whether or not a buff was nullified or a debuff was purified. That was terrible. Future MM was not gaining armor up passes when buff immune versus Black Widow Clairvoyant. That was a pretty popular counter for him. I wonder if that's going to change anything. Fixed a UI issue with incursions when played on a 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Very specific, very random, but those of you who messaged me on your iPad Pros, I know that that anger was very real and directed at Kabam, and I'm sure several forum posts and help tickets were filed, and that is a direct result of Kabam listening to you all. So good job filing those forum posts and help tickets. Fixed an issue with Sandman's Quicksand Root, not triggering on heavy attack after the opponent's special attack. Nick Fury counting disorient debuffs inflicted outside of his own kit as his own. Iceman detonating frostbite passives on parry. I've done that a couple times. Weapon X gaining rage when any ability outside of his kit fails due to chance rather than his own. I wonder if that's going to actually make him a little bit easier to fight. Anybody uses Weapon X, let me know the feedback on that. I use him for defense on Battlegrounds, but I never actually see the fights, obviously. Fixing issue where several damage sources being able to bypass the Do You Bleed node buff damage protections. Interesting. Medusa's info page regarding auto black to more accurately describe its effects. Division's pre-fight abilities, blah, blah. So, in the end, there's so much to go over, and like I said, this could be a 20-minute video. But the biggest thing is that Tier 4 and Tier 5 Class Catalyst and Tier 5 Basic Catalyst, Tier 2 Alpha. Selling those is just incredible. So, yay for making it safely to Kansas City. Thank you to everybody who's been sending well wishes. I'm here for a funeral to celebrate the life of somebody I was so close to that just unexpectedly had a stroke and passed away. You never know, YouTube, when your last breath is going to be your last breath. So embrace those that you've been blessed with. Don't hold grudges, and have a great rest of your weekend.